Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of For the Abroad. I'm Wole and I'm with
Dami.
Yeah. So today we're going to speak about the UK specifically. So remember last episode we spoke about different countries that are popular for international students. So we just made a list of them and now we want to go in depth and giving you information about each of these countries that are popular for international students like.
Yeah, definitely. So we are talking about the United Kingdom. Yes, it's in Europe, as most of you are probably already aware. And it's a country that has up to 106 universities, or maybe more, but if you do the research, it's mostly 106. So all these universities are accredited. Any certificate you get from a university in the UK is definitely accepted anywhere in the world. Okay, so today we're going to touch on the admissions process or the application process, pardon me. We're going to touch on the tuition and the admissions requirements. And we're going to touch on the most important part and the part that everybody is super excited about, the graduate immigration route. Yes, the part that says that you can now stay and work for some time
The
in the
needs
UK.
of this video.
Yeah.
So to go to the UK, you need to know what level of education you're going there prepared to go and do over there. So we start off with our foundation A levels. Those are the ones that you must have in order to go into an undergraduate program. So you can actually do that in the UK. Then we move on to our undergraduate programs, and it goes from 3 to 4 years. And these are undergraduate programs you can do in between. You can do direct entry. A direct entry is when you don't enter from the first year, but you enter through the second year. So it's a one-on-one conversation with admissions of any of the universities you're going to. Mm-hmm. So you need to look at your documents and see if it would overlap. And most times it's an academic of the university that will review it module per module. Mm-hmm. Then we have what we call the top-ups, and that is mostly popular for people who've had a third class in their university degree.
Yeah.
And that will enable them to make it to have a better, at the end of the day, to have a better grade. Finally, we're doing a pre-masters, which is preparing you to do a master's program, also available for people who had a third class or an HND. So this is a good way to move on to progress onto your master's program. Yeah. And finally, we're going to PhDs. So you have all these key entry requirements, and then you have to follow the process to the T.
Yeah. So for the undergraduate entry requirement, you need a foundation or A levels. Usually for different courses, there's a certain grade that you need to achieve. So you need to be aware of that depending on which university you want to study. For postgraduate students, you would need your undergraduate certificate from a recognized university. A lot of times they will say, a 4-year degree and so on, but if it's recognized, even if the course is for 3 years, it's fine. And then for the PhD, obviously you need a master's degree, so you need to provide that information. And, different bits of information are also required depending on the course that you want to study. Okay, so for PhDs, for example, you need to find a supervisor, you need to submit a proposal. So there's so many different levels when it comes to applying for PhD. However, all these levels will still require what we call an English proficiency document. Okay, so that's for some people that will be IELTS, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, Duolingo, and a few other recognized English qualifications. All right, but in some cases it could also mean basically getting your universities to give you a letter that says that you studied in English and everyone is taught primarily in English. That can be accepted by some universities. Again, that ranges depending on the course that you want to study and the university that you're applying to. Okay, And there's also WAEC.
So some universities accept local English proficiency programs such as WAEC, NECO, GCE. You need to go to the university website, the one that you opt in to apply for, and see what are their English entry requirements. As Dami mentioned, they will ask for the IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, but they also might ask for your local one, which you've already done maybe a few years back, as long as you have the right grades. Averagely, we usually ask for a C in English,
Yeah.
C in English or above.
Yeah.
Depending on the courses, some courses require you to have a higher level of English and might enter the Bs.
Yes.
But as I said, please visit the university's website, enter their English requirement, and see if it works for your country. Most undergraduate programs for UK universities go through what we call UCAS, which is University and Colleges Admissions Service. It's called the UCAS. Now, with UCAS, an undergraduate applicant can apply to more than one university. However, UCAS is the standard to apply to the UK for any undergraduate courses. Now, UCAS opens up, I think, from October, November, all the way down to January. And that's where the universities has opened its application onto you via UCAS, and you apply, and we are waiting for your offer. For those that have done A-levels or foundation, we're waiting for your results that come in June. And if your result did not come the way you wanted it, but you're still passionate about the university, or good news, you have a better result, and now you're saying, I don't want this university, this back plan university. I want to do the super ones. You can always apply via clearing. And clearing is if universities open up that section, I think, to all people who want to apply. You can do it either directly to universities. A few universities let you apply clearing directly, but most likely it goes through UCAS. And in that endeavor, you can now apply to the university because they have now still space, and they are lowering their entry requirements. So keep an eye out for those who still want to go to a specific university, initially got rejected, and still have hope to want to still go to those universities.
Yeah, and then in terms of the tuition range, so you have this will vary depending on the university that you want to go to and the course again. So for example, for the same course, you can find it at a specific university for about £9,000, and it can go all the way up to about £24,000 in a different university. But bear in mind that these differences would usually be based on the ranking of the university for UK. So that's definitely something to think about. So on to the meaty part of the process, which is the graduate immigration route.
Before we go to the graduation immigration route, so since we're talking about fees, I thought we'd talk about scholarships.
Of course.
And now, some universities offer most universities offer partial scholarships. And a lot of it is merit-based, or a combination of merit as well as following an application process that will require you to answer a few key questions about you, so essay-like answers. And depending on how you answer, you might get a very lucrative scholarship. But have it in mind that do not go and apply because you're going for a full tuition waiver. There are very few universities that would offer that. So that's my bit on scholarships.
Definitely.
I know that a lot of you will be interested, and please visit the university website for all the information on the scholarships and fees, and it's part of what makes your mind up, because yes, the fees might be exorbitant, but the scholarship might be worthwhile, or the scholarship is teeny and the fees are tiny. Like, you have to factor a lot of in if you're looking into that finance bit.
Yeah, which I know is a very important part for a lot of people. So definitely look into the finance aspect, take advantage of the scholarships, but bear in mind 100% scholarships are very rare in UK universities.
Highly competitive. probably one university applicant will get it in that year. So it's not just for everybody. So have a backup plan, financial backup plan, no matter what.
Yep, financial backup. That's the important part.
Although you can also look at outside the scholarships, such as for postgraduates, there's Javelin, there's Commonwealth, there are other ones, and there's also the local ones at back home in your home countries where you.
Yeah, so we'll do a separate show on that actually. So, external scholarships that you can take advantage of from different parts of Africa. So look out for that. All right. So in terms of the graduate immigration route, it's it's a very, very, very fantastic new development. It's something that the UK have been working on for a long time, and we are super excited that it has now come through, and students can actually start to apply from July 2021.
It's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity that you can still stay on for 2 years for undergraduate and a master's, or 3 years for PhDs.
Yes. So bear in mind, there are additional charges for the immigration route. But it's definitely worth it. As Wole said, it's an opportunity for you to gain some experience after your studies, which will definitely add to your profile and make you a lot more attractive to recruiters, either back home or even within the UK. Okay, so we will put a little bit more information about the immigration route in the description box. And you can also send us an email at fortheabroad@gmail.com if you have any questions that we haven't answered in the episode that you are still very, very curious about. Okay, so thank you so much for being a part of the show and watching, and we look forward to the next episode.
Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and obviously the comments would help us to improve on the show no matter what. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Bye.
Subscribe.